Video, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that are involved in leveling in the new continent. If you're a veteran player, a lot of this is going to be very familiar to you. If you're new or returning, however, there are a few things you might want to consider about how you go about leveling in the new area. So I'm portaling into the starting area for the Alliance side, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the options you have and the alternatives to some of the traditional leveling methods. Okay? So, the first thing I want to do is talk about mining and herbalism, as well as skinning, I believe. Probably have an equal effect here, but in terms of the two professions that tend to have the largest impact, mining and herbalism are the easiest. Most people already have them, especially if you're trying to make gold. And there's a lot of ways to make gold. There are plenty of ways to make gold despite, just the fact that you're not doing it to make gold necessarily. So, alright. I'm going to walk myself into a couple of kill these couple peons real quick, and then we'll get on with what we're supposed to be talking about. But
I need to target something first.
I guess that's a good first lesson right there, actually, is be ready for anything, because you never know what you're going to run into when you're going out here, so have your pets out. But, and that's a good first example of one of the ways you can level. You can kill, you can farm on mobs in the area. As you can see, the actual amount of XP you need right now is about 13 million just for that first level. Now, I've spent maybe 20, 25 minutes, and I'm already at 9%. So it's not going to go too quickly. It's going to scale up as usual. So expect by the time you're at 89, you're waiting on a few million XP. But generally speaking, it's not as quick as Cataclysm, but it's not as slow as, let's say, the Burning Crusade was. Clearing out some of these mobs, and as you can see, your enemies have a lot of hit points. Especially early on, when I haven't leveled up my gear yet, this is going to take a little bit more. Maybe in a level or two. So it's the usual slight curve. And keep in mind, too, that this character that I'm working on is not, a high-tier rating character who has all the top gear. This is just mostly leveling gear from Cataclysm, so I'm actually a little under-geared for this at the moment, so some of these early combats are going to take a little bit more. So, right here we have an herb. We can gather it, as it were, and you can see you get 15,000 experience points for gathering those herbs. It's comparable to killing an enemy. It's always been like that, at least for the last couple expansions. But it's good to keep in mind because Blizzard has a very high percentage of lootables in the area because it's a brand new, it's just starting out. So the spawn rates are high, and especially when you're just getting started here, you're going to find that the competition is very limited because of the zoning. So you can see I already have 3 on the map right here, and these are all things that you can gather when you have 500 herbalism. So if you don't feel like farming on mobs, you can farm on herbs and mining ores. And for those of you who have skinning and have kept it leveled up, it's actually even better if you get into a crowded area because you can just snag all the stuff everybody else is ignoring. So, get up there from here. But as you can see, mining and herbalism are very good ways to level up. Obviously, the other very popular way, the way that Blizzard needs everybody to level up, is with completing quests. And there are plenty of quests, and while a lot of them are very familiar to you, they do reward about 125,000 experience points. And that's just getting started here at level 85, so you're getting a very large volume of experience for each quest you do complete, and that's important because it'll keep you doing them. And while they're not necessarily exciting, it's always more exciting than solely farming. So, alright. One last thing to mention here is if you are just getting ready to start again, don't underestimate the value of rested experience. If you're thoroughly rested, if you've been logged out for a little while in a city somewhere, that rested experience is going to last for most of that first level, which means you're basically going to reach level 86 twice as fast as someone else. So if you have it, take advantage of it. If you don't, log out when possible so you can take advantage of it. If you play constantly, obviously you're not going to have quite the same opportunities to take advantage of it as someone else who plays less often, but and that is kind of the point of it, to be perfectly honest. But, you know, as you can see, there are a lot of ways to level up. And if you're just getting started, too, like I'm in the starting zone here, and it's pretty empty. And it's, you know, it's partially phased because that's what Blizzard does, but I'm getting free access to all these herbs and mining ores. It's been about 4 minutes, and I've already picked 4. So it's fairly easy to do it. And of course, you can turn around and sell those too and make some gold. And while the saturation's a little bit higher right now than you necessarily like, it's definitely a good opportunity.